And here we are. It is Sunday evening,
Sunday evening,
7 o'clock
7 o'clock.
in the Netherlands. A very warm welcome. We are, for the first time since a long time, live on Sunday evening. My name is Claudia van Zuiden.
My name is Arturo Massaro,
And thank you so much for watching.
and together we are
Conscious World Agents. So tonight we have decided to go live instead of Friday, and that was basically because last week was an incredible busy week, but we don't want to go into that too much, but we have lots of things to do, and we hope to be live every Friday afternoon, but just because of work and so forth, and sometimes that's just not possible. So we thought it would be nice to, for those who sometimes watch our Sunday Inspirations videos that we post, to go live and instead of putting a video on of a pre-recorded session of us.
Yeah.
So here we are.
live, and you can ask questions if you want. That's
Yes.
also nice when it's live.
Yes, and we really like that because it's interactive, and we would love to hear, how your week has been. And this week we want to talk about inspirations. Well, last week we decided, and we said whilst we were live on Facebook, that we were going to have a topic this week about control. And yes, we had one post about that, and we want to continue that conversation next week because that was quite a hot topic. And how can that help us when we sort of let go of a certain way of wanting to keep control on everything. So next week on our Friday live session,
Yeah.
which we hope to do, we shall then discuss that particular topic with you further. And if you have any insights on that you wish to share, then we'd love to hear from that as well. So tonight's topic is about
Inspiration.
inspiration.
Yeah.
So maybe you want to say a little bit about that.
Well, what you see a lot. We train also a lot of companies, and a lot of managers are talking with each other. And it's most of the times it's about the rules, the regulations, or the content. So they talk about a lot about the form. And when you talk about the form, and it's needed, but when you talk a lot about the form, you get information. And that's great. You need information to make appointments and so on. But it doesn't really inspire. When is the inspiration there? Well, when you talk about what's driving you. What are your goals? What is your ambition with your own department, for instance, when it's in a company, but also in your own life? And when you talk about all these kind of things, you let your spirit talk a little bit. And when you let your spirit talk, you get inspiration. Not only for yourself, but also for the other person. You feel it when people are talking from their heart instead of their mind. And that was a whole bag of glasses. And even they fall down when we talk about inspirations. They give, yes, that's it.
That's it. Yes.
Cling, cling. And again, we need to talk about the things with the mind. We need to make the plans, so we need it. We need to analyze things.
Yeah.
All great. But when you want to inspire other people, it will never happen, ever happen, only with the mind. There must be another vibration in it. And that's you. That's you. That's the first part, what I just wanted to share.
No, well, it
Then
sounds
instead of form, talk about spirit.
full of spirit, I would say. Sunday evening spirit. Yeah, I think that's it's a great topic. Because what can happen if we are in such a situation as now, when there's so many new regulations happening and all that? It's like, how do you keep inspired? I'm a very creative soul. I like to make things and do lots of things, and I get inspiration from others. So I really like to meet people and listen to their stories and about their passions and what they do in the world that makes a positive change. So I really like to be around people who are very inspirational as such, or I like to listen to talks from people who have done some amazing work or small work but created big changes. So I really like that. And another thing that I get very inspired by is just by being in nature. And because like what you're saying, when you have this thinking all the time and we're indoors a lot, when we work with clients and so forth, then I need to go outside and feel the spirit of nature. So for me, that is in spirit, something that is bigger than myself. Like today, we went to some beautiful places here in the Netherlands where they're very ancient sites. They used to do a lot of ceremonies there. Apparently, they've done some research around that, and I just love being in those places of power. And whether that is a church or whether that is one of the stone circles here, there's something in those places that is really powerful. That has this place of power. And even with the water, I have that. When we go to the water, there is something in that water spirit. I feel that is inspirational for me.
And what's happening then with you when you're there? What's happening with you?
It makes me feel connected to myself and connected with nature. And I really need that. If I'm disconnected from that, then I don't start to function very well. So so for me, inspiration is really when I'm in nature, or when we're near the animals and I hear them, and just being like that. What would you say happens then?
No, I can see that, but I'm just curious what happens with you, and maybe that's also why people can choose the things that we say today. What can help them, for instance?
Yes. I don't know what. Yeah, I would really like to know what gives you inspiration. I love to go to different parts of the world, which is a bit more difficult now. But even in your own places nearby, you can go on your bicycle, or you can walk, and you find some beautiful places where you get inspired. You can become creative, or you think, wow, this is really cool. I can do something with this, like even sitting around a fire and talking to people, storytelling, those kind of things. It's just like something different than the analytical mind, and we notice that more and more people want that. We have been focusing on the careers and on success and all these things, but we really, and especially through this COVID period, I think people start to realize more and more what really matters. You hear people saying time with the family, time with their loved ones, time in nature. People go now for walks in nature more. They have office meetings in nature, and for me that has always been a given. There's been no other way. I don't function really well if I don't recharge in nature. But then I think even the colors, like today when you see the trees and how they change and the seasons and the leaves, how they change, it's like, you just want to paint, or you just want to take a photograph of it and make a calendar of it or something like that. Or I get inspired, and when I get inspired, then also I find that when I then have to work, your energy, like you were saying, the energy level is different. You're more like connected with everything, and you're not in a lower vibration, you're in a high vibration, a more positive vibration, and that helps your mind also to uplift your mind. So for me that's really important. So that is basically something that we like to do. So what is it in you that really inspires you? I would love to hear that.
Okay, well, I can read it. Ratna is there. Hi, Ratna.
Hi, Ratna. Lovely that you're here.
Ratna is saying, so true, Arturo. When we give information from the heart, we spark others, but also ourselves. We need to inspire more leaders to do this. Well, that's great. We totally agree with this. And again, we both train a lot of people also in companies. And what we see is that people work very hard. That's great. They have a lot of knowledge. That's great. But the attitude of slowing down and really coming from the heart, coming from that inspiration, I don't see it that often. And if I see it, then I see also a different team they lead. I see a team that wants to work, a team that goes for solutions instead of control or looking at problems. I see a team that inspires themselves.
Yeah.
People give feedback to each other because they want to hear the feedback. And it's totally different. And when once you have seen such team and you enter that room, you feel it. You feel immediately the energy that's high there. Creativity is there, everything. And a lot of people say, well, yes, I'm not feeling that much, but they all feel the difference when you enter a room when a team is like this, or when you enter a room where the team is a little bit, confrontations with each other, they're not inspired, they do their job, and that's okay. That's the difference. And of course, you need to inspire yourself, but it can help so much, especially in a company, when the leaders know themselves so much better. What's your purpose? What's your calling? What makes you happy every day again? Why do you wake up and go to your work? Is that only for the money? To be honest, if that's the only reason, I think after 10 years you will run out and you will lose your energy. And let's be honest, money can be very important, but that cannot be the only driver. And so what inspires me is not only being with Claudia and also in nature.
Here you go.
No, I love to listen to people who are inspired. They share their own stories, stories from the heart. If people fell down and really hit rock bottom, and they tell their story, how they stood up, what they did, to reinforce themselves with the empowerment and so on. And a lot of things, and not everything, but a lot of things has to do with the right mindset. What is your focus? Is your focus on the problems, or are you focusing on the things that you want? And we all have issues in our life. Everybody on this planet, we all have issues. But where is your focus? At the end of the day, can you look back and at least write 15 things down that you say, wow, that gave me energy. I'm happy that I did this. I had a great conversation with. So where you focus on the things that help you, that gives you energy. And with that energy, it's easier to look at your issues.
Yeah, God. Yeah, I think that's so true. That focus on where do you bring your attention to?
Yeah.
Where is the awareness going to? And I love, for example, we had a wonderful network meeting. We don't really do network meetings, but this network meeting we could not miss because it was done by a great friend of ours. And oh my gosh, we met such amazing people.
Yeah.
We met a person, who was a homeless person once, totally living on the street 10 years ago. And then his life changed completely. And now the work he's doing to help people who are really struggling and whatever was just phenomenal. And, he's really successful. And we had a discussion on what does being successful mean. It's like when you really live your calling and you live out of your heart. And, that is the most important. I never had some relationship with money on that way. I knew I was going to be taken care of no matter what. Money was never an issue for me in my life like that. And it's still not, I have money money, then I know I will somehow be looked after, and I can do things that will generate food or find a roof above my head. It is not my issue. But I do understand that some people really need some money in certain situations, and that's totally understandable. And even myself, still in the culture we're living in. But I think we should look at a whole new economics anyway. But that's a whole
different
topic.
topic. Yeah.
But go and sit in an environment where people, like in mind labs, when you come together and talk about things that you're passionate about, and see what happens. How you spark from each other, how you get inspired by each other, and that was really happening in this meeting that we had this week in Amsterdam in the evening. It was fantastic, and surround yourself with people who are uplifted in their mood, that you can get inspired with and that you can inspire. And of course, it's also good to be with people who are maybe not so uplifted in their mood, but maybe you can inspire them, so then you're completely being of service. So it's not about, all about us. It's also about what can you give to others, this reciprocal kind of way of living.
Yeah. And that's also inspiring, if you change your attitude from what's in it for me to how may I serve.
Mm-hmm.
That's not only inspiring for other people, but it also gives you a lot of fulfillment. And if you see then what your help will do with other people, how they will take it, and how they can change their life.
Yeah, definitely.
That gives you so much inspiration to do more.
Yeah, my question to you is like, who has been your role model in your life? If you had one that really inspired you, and why? What did they do? What did they do that you felt inspired by, and you wanted to do? You aspired to be like them in some way. One of my great role models was one of my grandmothers. All four of my grandparents were fantastic, and my grandmother from my mother's side, she inspired me always about just being kind to people. She was always kind, and she always had a great sense of humor, and she always said you can say everything as long as you say it with love, and you can also say a lot when you smile, and that helped me. And my other grandmother was super generous. They were both generous, but my grandmother from my father's side, she was incredible. She just showed me, you'd never go away without having had food or something. She was always taking care of you. So, and I think I also have that in my genes. And then my grandfathers were really inspiring both. One of them was really interested in books, and oh my gosh, I've read so many books in my life, and about all kind of topics, and that was really my grandfather from my father's side. And the other grandfather inspired me to be in nature a lot, to plant things in the ground and grow your bulbs and flowers and other things. And his family were more into the farming side, and I love that as well. So yeah, who inspired you like that? So this
Ratna is writing what's inspiring her is being in nature, cooking and sharing food with friends.
Nice.
Chanting inspires me always. She says it allows me to see beyond myself. That's great. That's awesome. And
thank you, Ragnar.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. And that there are a lot of people on this planet who inspired me. Of course, we can. Then a lot of times we come up with Gandhi and Mandela, but that's true. Yesterday we saw a movie of Mandela.
Yeah.
It's a long walk for freedom, and it's a wonderful movie.
Yeah.
But also people much more close to me. My son, for instance, is really inspiring me how he is taking up his life. He's always following his heart. But also people really, they're not known by anyone else, almost.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be just one small step they take. For instance, by giving their Christmas present on Christmas Eve to somebody who doesn't have the food right now at that moment. It's just small things that people do that really inspires me.
Yeah.
And I think you all know these people around you. Maybe you do it also yourself. It's not always the big thing to move 200 million people to go for freedom. No, I think it's much more the smaller things that can help others and inspire others to do also.
Yep, definitely. So,
Yeah,
that was a bit of Sunday inspiration. Well, I think I said what I wanted to say tonight about it, and I'm really grateful that you're watching, and hopefully you will feel a little bit more inspired. And just about tomorrow, when you start your week, maybe some reflection about it. You know, what can you do that is really inspiring for others? You know, how can you help them to aspire to do something that maybe brings more of a positive energy into the world? I think that's so needed right now. So I'm going to also think about that. What can I do? I think with Conscious World Agents, that's what we want. That we, you know, consciously choosing to bring a level of consciousness in the world that comes from a positive attitude. And positive, we mean helpful. So if you say negative, it's more like unhelpful. So what can we do that brings more positivity, more helpful acts of kindness, or whatever you want to call it, into the world? So I'm going to think about that as well, what I can do more this week. I will share it with you, and please share with us what has inspired you by watching this recording tonight.
yes. And tomorrow morning, when you wake up, you have a choice.
Oops.
It's good morning, God, or good God morning. It's up to you. If you do the last one, good God morning. See how your day goes. Or when you go, good morning, God. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm in.
You're in. Yeah, and that is not always possible for everybody.
No.
But if it is possible, then we really hope that you'll have a great day, and everybody who is not so good at the moment, because there's a lot of that also happening, we acknowledge that too, and hopefully you'll get a little bit more inspired by watching us, and we're sending lots of love to everybody, and thank you for watching, and we wish you a wonderful Sunday evening, and we look forward to seeing you on Friday next week.
Yes, and have a wonderful week.
Yes, thanks so much. Any questions, any comments, please put them right under here, and well, and then we look forward to reading them, and we'll respond to them as soon as possible.